The Martial Arts Scholar presents The Book of Five Rings as it applies to karate and other aspects of life. Book 1. Ground. The Book of Five Rings was written by the sword master and arguably the most successful samurai in history, the certified badass Miyamoto Musashi, back in 1645, just before he died at the age of around 62. He had defeated approximately 60 opponents during his lifetime as a wandering ronin, and he spent the last decade of his life in solitude, deep study, and introspection. The Book of Five Rings is, in many ways, a manual for approaching life and its challenges. Although it is largely a book about sword fighting and strategy, it applies to all aspects of life where a human being faces a challenge. It's a reminder that we are all born with the same basic physical attributes, but only through diligent practice, focused study, and hard work can we become great at anything we set out to accomplish, no matter who we are and where we came from. In the next series of essays, I would like to explore the Book of Five Rings in detail and hope to attain insights for myself as a martial artist, as a husband, a father, and a mentor to my kids, but also as a student of many other martial artists and humans who are certifiably better than me and from whom I have much to learn. The Book of Five Rings is divided into 5 chapters or tomes. I will briefly explain each one of them and spend the rest of this essay delving deeper into the first book. Book 1. Ground. It's about basics, foundational knowledge, structure, practice, and study. Book 2. Water. Explores understanding the application of the basics as they apply to increasingly difficult challenges. Book 3. Fire. Deals with deliberate execution, performance, maintaining calm on the outside but burning inside, pushing forward, filling the gaps. Book 4. Wind. Looks at how old ways and traditions merge with new ideas, cross-training, adapting, changing direction in training and confrontation. Book 5. Void. The final book and the combination of the other 4, where there is no beginning or end, just a constant flow of energy. Everything flows from and through each other. There is just execution, no thought, and no hesitation. It's the zone where one becomes almost invincible. And now let's delve into Book 1, the Ground Book. In this book, Musashi explores the basics of his school of swordsmanship, emphasizing how to train and think of technique, weapons, footwork, distance, and timing. His style is the Niten Ichi Ryu, or the School of Two Swords. In this, he emphasizes the use and knowledge of all available weapons, and encourages us to be open-minded to wield the best weapon or weapons available when the situation calls for it. He tells us that sometimes the situation will require using more than one weapon or being able to use them in succession. Sometimes we will have a situation where all weapons are needed. He admonishes us to avoid defeat with a weapon sheathed. What he means by this, in my view, is to be proficient in all techniques available to us based on our style and training, and when the time comes, learn to identify the right situation for the right technique. Do not leave anything behind. Commit fully, use all your options, and continue fighting until the end. Don't finish the fight thinking you should have done more or feeling you could have done better. Do it all, and do your best during the confrontation. That said, he advises having one weapon with which we are most proficient, called the way of the long sword. In whatever your style is in martial arts or your task in life, have one thing that you're very good at, and you will likely be better than most at this. Refine this skill and work on it diligently, but don't neglect your other skills either. Once you master your long sword, mastering other weapons becomes much easier. This applies to everything, including techniques and other life skills. For example, in karate during kumite, once we have mastered the reverse punch, it probably becomes our go-to weapon, but that also frees us to refine other techniques and add to our arsenal. It's like learning how to read or write. Once you master that, other tasks and subjects become easier to learn and master subsequently. In Book 1, he also talks about strategy, explaining that this entails understanding when and where to use a particular technique or weapon, and in which order and timing to deploy them. You need to understand your weapon's limitations and advantages well to make the most of them when the time comes to use them. To master this, you should strive to train in all possible situations and scenarios and in all possible environments. An example that comes to mind is when practicing for a test. You should train for the requirements of the test, and then some. Double the reps that will be required at the time of testing. Train your weakest technique twice as much as your strongest. Train in different environments, outside of the dojo, in plain clothes, in front of strangers. Get comfortable performing your set of techniques and katas without getting distracted by your surroundings. This will help us overcome any possible adversity we may face on the day of the test, the day of the match, or the day of the tournament. Finally, the ground book explores the importance of training timing and distance, which not only applies to sparring but also to Kihon and Kata. Timing and distance apply not only to the opponent, but also to your body mechanics, your breathing, and your kime delivery. Timing and distance are not one-dimensional. There is no such thing as bad timing or bad distance. It's more like wrong timing and wrong distance, depending on the situation. Only if you lack complete control and understanding of them can they work against you. For example, if you want to throw someone to the ground or apply leverage to dislodge a weapon or strike with a weapon, perhaps in that situation, stepping and planting your feet first is a better choice than delivering a technique at the same time as your body weight. But if you're trying to strike someone with the greatest amount of power in the smallest possible window, then delivering your weight along with the technique and the breath will provide the best results. If we have to sum up the first book, the Book of Ground or Earth, it would be to say this is our foundation, our core principles. To master this concept, we always have to go back to basics, to boring and grueling drills, to correct repetition, to breaking down a technique until we get it right, until it feels right, until it is right. This has to be practiced over and over again and forever, no matter the rank. A black belt of whatever degree should always continue to do Kihon, Kata, Kumite, and keep working on timing and distance drills, along with body mechanic drills, just like a beginner. Karate, like any other martial art or skill, can always be improved, but it is also subject to deterioration when not kept alive. Keep your karate living by training regularly and deliberately. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share.